JoJo went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind and he was willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you'd care..."
Live from the Tiger Studios in Easley, South Carolina, is the JoJo Cool Football Pick Show week number 12 with your host and star of our show, JoJo Cool, and her co-host, Outlaw Jimmy James, who is currently in the Witness Protection Program and is now known as In-Law Jamie Jim. Our guest pickers today are, as always, Big Money Zach Howard, Big Blue Chris Constance, and the Southern Gentleman, the Sultan of Seneca, the Earl of Easley, Prince of Pickens, and, minus the funky bunch, Marky Mark Holiday. Here's JoJo.
That was a lot of words.
I didn't write them.
Thanks a lot, Marky Mark. Now that I know who I am, I have to change my name and address again.
That's natural for you, old Jim.
All right.
Not wrong.
Okay.
So we had a bunch of stuff happen this weekend. Some upsets, some almost upsets. But let's talk about this shirt first. You got a new shirt today,
Yeah, I
don't you?
did. I sure did.
On a hanger.
I
of all
did.
things.
We got this Southern Cal shirt sent to us from a super fan, Southern Cal fan. Her name is Elizabeth, and thank you for it. And we will wear it pretty soon on the show. And you got one too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're going to wear those shirts soon. And any fans out there who want us to wear their shirts, contact us, which who had sent them to us. We'll be glad to wear them, except for South Carolina. Sorry, Lee Hudson and Mark, not Mark, but Doug Holcomb. Y'all kind of favor each other. Don't you?
He's taller than I am.
Oh, you the dog.
Yeah.
All right, JoJo, what we got?
We still got 4 undefeated teams. Army, Indiana, Oregon, and unfortunately BYU.
That's why I'm wearing this shirt in honor of Oregon. A fan sent this to us last year. They're number one. They're ranked number one. And what do you mean even BYU? Unfortunately,
They should have lost to Utah.
that's a good game. I like BYU. That was a good game.
Yes, it was a good game.
Anybody
Utah,
watch it?
Utah was in it throughout the whole game until the last 2 minutes.
Utah was leading and doing very well.
They had this what was it, a holding call at the last
Yeah.
Defensive
second,
holding, yeah.
and gave them new life, and then
And that was without Cam Rising, wasn't it? Yeah.
and their coach kept Utah's coach kept calling timeouts when it was under a minute, helping BYU out. So that game made me mad.
I love it.
I was hoping Utah would
It'll
win.
be BYU. All right. We had a fan send us a shirt from BYU too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sure did. Yeah. We won't have to wear that again. All right.
Florida's keeping Billy Napier for some reason. That was a big call in the Georgia Tech game. Trey Cooley took a 15-yard face mask and a targeting penalty, knocked his helmet off.
Oh yeah.
And it was really hard hit. And Ahmed Martin was
Easy
the
for you to
hitter.
say.
I don't know, I was struggling there. Jelly Roll was doing push-ups with the Tennessee
He
cheerleaders.
did well too.
We like to say our condolences to Ben Herbstreit, the little dog. He unfortunately died.
But he had a dog on his set.
I know, he had another one.
Is that
One
the
of
same?
his- I think it's one of his puppies.
Oh, one's public. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Yeah.
So we lost him.
Yeah. And my skunk out there, we lost it too.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
It stinks though.
This stinks. Yeah. Poor thing. I'll tell everybody about the story later.
Boise State, Ashton Genty is still putting up some yardage at 209 yards and 3 touchdowns. Indiana is 10-0 for the first time ever in school history. There was a squirrel again at the Ole Miss Georgia game,
Yep, ran for a touchdown.
and a Georgia Tech player did a backflip to celebrate the win and didn't stick it.
That's hard.
Let's talk about Georgia Ole Miss. That messed up their 52-win streak against 9 Alabama teams.
Yes, it did.
Their last loss was in 2020 to Florida. Beck threw some more interceptions. He's up to 12, 13 already this season. Jackson Dart was 199 passing yards for a touchdown and an interception. And there was Ole Miss fans jumped the field 16 seconds early, so they had to rush them off the field.
Yeah, but you know, Ole Miss jumped all over Georgia from the get-go. They jumped all over 'em. Georgia fans saying, well, it was raining, we couldn't play. Well,
They played in
Ole
the
Miss
rain.
was
Ole
on the
Miss
same
was,
field.
they was on the same field,
That's
yeah.
right.
They were on the same field, so
Yep.
there's no excuse for rain or anything. Ole Miss wanted the game, they were prepared for the game, Georgia wasn't.
Yep, Lane Kiffin.
Who's that coming down the track?
Not Georgia.
Nope.
Lane Kiffin's first win over a top 5 team or better
Yeah.
with Ole Miss.
Yep. He's good friends with Dabo too.
Better record than James Franklin.
Yeah. What do you fellas think about that,
Yeah.
that Georgia Ole Miss game?
I loved it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
Well, it's a pleasant surprise too. I mean, I picked Georgia to win that one, but I can't say that I'm disappointed that Ole Miss won. I mean, you know, obviously with what has been said here, the desire factor has played a lot into it. And this is why you play the game. You know, we can pick on paper and it's fun, but you know, ultimately you see the game being played, and hats off to Ole Miss for coming to play. And you mentioned something about a squirrel. I guess the legend of Ray Stevens is still alive, you know, and I just wonder whose pants and dresses it ran up out there, and people started confessing sins, you know, at the football game instead of in the First Self-Righteous Church of Pascagoula, Mississippi.
well, if we have a streaker, we're going to have to mention Ray Stevens again too, because somebody's running naked on the field. We're going to have to mention Ray Stevens. Yeah. All right. What do you think, Chris?
I don't like Georgia at all. So anytime they lose, I'm glad. It don't matter who they play.
Big money?
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like Georgia, can't stand Georgia, and anytime they lose, it's okay with me. Even if it's South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
Yeah.
I pulled for Georgia over South Carolina.
I'm
But you know, ever since we've been doing this show and we've been getting invited to different games, going to different games, especially Southeastern Conference, they have been nothing but nice to us. Every single school and every single fan down there. So except for Maryland, I can't stand Maryland's right there with South Carolina, but they've been pretty nice to us. So, but I was kind of pulling from Georgia, but I was glad to see Ole Miss win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't. During that game, both of the goalposts also got torn down.
Yep. Sure
I
did.
don't know why. They just tear down the goalposts and take them to the river. Or one didn't even make it out of the quad, I think.
I'd like to have a goalpost here at the house, just part of it.
you would.
Hang on the wall or something.
Frankenstein kicked extra points.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the official goalpost of your homeowners association.
All right, JoJo.
Let's talk about Georgia Tech, Miami. This is Georgia Tech's second win over a 9-0 team or better,
Wow.
and this is their second year in a row, kind of beating Miami. Last one was that's the last. They messed up Miami's season last year too. And Cam Ward's been putting up numbers, 25 to 30, for 348 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think he's going to win the Heisman this year.
What do you fellas think?
Very good a possibility he can win it. You have to beat out Travis Hunter though.
Yeah.
That'd be the thing.
Yeah.
Or Ashton Genty.
I forgot about him.
Well, you know, the Heisman race is going to be interesting, but this is another pick that I blew. I picked Miami. You know, they have the momentum. You know, and they have the talent pool as we discussed last week. But you know, like I say, you got to play the game, and credit Georgia Tech for what Georgia Tech did, and that was
They came to play.
they came to play, and they did not come away empty-handed.
Exactly.
So.
Big money.
I'm the same way. I would have picked Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's prone to upset. During our first show, I picked Georgia Tech over Florida State. Everybody gave me credits for it, especially my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was going to happen.
I remember that.
It was just bound for Miami to lose.
Yeah.
And now, as a Clemson fan, you're pulling for Clemson to win Saturday and for Miami to lose
Yes, sir.
against Syracuse.
Yeah.
So,
And that's
because I don't think SMU's losing.
No.
I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I don't think SMU's losing.
They're looking stronger than I thought they would.
Yes,
A lot
absolutely.
stronger. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
all right.
I almost picked Georgia Tech last week. I was thinking, but I didn't because I went logically
Yeah.
with Miami because I was like, they're better.
Yeah.
They've been putting up numbers and stuff. But I was like, if they're gonna lose, this was their best chance.
Yeah.
It was.
Yep.
All right, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. South Carolina won that one. 16 straight over Vandy.
I thought it'd be a closer game than that. I really did. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna be honest with you, don't criticize me for this, but if South Carolina's not in the top 15, top 20 tomorrow night, there's an issue.
Yeah,
Because
Nice
South
people.
Carolina,
they're good.
they're 23 in the AP, but South Carolina, they're just tearing everybody up. I'm a diehard Clemson fan, and I'm worried about that
I'm
game.
scared to death.
I mean, if Louisville's gonna come in there and just punch you in the mouth, what's South Carolina gonna do?
And I hear you, Lee Hudson. Don't want to
You
hear you.
know, I mean, I give credit where credit's due. You know, they're finally back playing good football again. And
Yeah.
but I've got a buddy of mine, Blake, and his wife Kayla. They're season ticket holders. They've been there throughout all the games and everything. And I just I can't explain it. I mean, I guess I like to see them be relevant again, but not when they're this good, because they always beat Clemson when they're relevant.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's going to be fun.
Hopefully
It'll be better if Clemson can beat them. Be better on their resume. So we'll see.
I hope they're relevant at the end of the year. Clemson
Yeah.
beats them.
Yep.
Fellas,
Looking better and better every week.
every week.
Got a snowball going downhill right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I feel the same way. I mean, I picked Carolina to win. That was one of the smart picks I did. But with the gap in the game, I mean, you look at Vanderbilt beating Alabama and then being close against Georgia, and those two teams have been the gold standard in the SEC and in the country. And now you've got Carolina convincingly and decisively beating a team that is either beaten or played well against your top level teams. So it says a lot for the way that the Gamecocks have come along and turned things around as of late.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about Alabama's dominating win over LSU. LSU fans was throwing trash on the field.
Was you in the stands throwing trash on the field?
With me.
That's about what, 3-4 times in a row someone's done
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Trying to get them to overturn the call.
Clemson did it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's getting ridiculous, all these schools doing that. But LSU, I cannot believe they got beat that bad. It shouldn't have been that bad.
When you're a Brian Kelly coach team, that's what happens.
That's what I've been saying all year. Get rid of Kelly, and
Yeah.
we'll have a better
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
I bring the big O back. I really do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go Tigers!
Well, if you bring him back, you gotta watch your wives. So. I don't like Brian Kelly either. So, there was a lackluster performance. There was no hustle, nothing there.
No.
They was going through the motions. So
That's all they were
they got beat like they played. So.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's kind of tough to see in Baton Rouge. I mean, there's you talk about the 12th man at Texas A&M. Baton Rouge is a hard place to go
At night.
At night, exactly. And for that to happen, says two things there. We've talked, you two being diehard LSU fans, obviously are seeing the problem with LSU, but for Alabama to go in there and be able to do that, it says something about the sense of urgency that the Crimson Tide has now, that they have, if they're going to be relevant and have a chance to get back in the dance, they have to do something. And so their backs are against the wall and they're fighting hard.
But it's a sad moment when they get beat that bad Saturday night in Baton Rouge. Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Are you good?
Never been better.
But Tulane won, and Clemson won.
To lose only makes you better,
Yeah.
because that makes you hungrier.
You saw it happen to Clemson against West Virginia a few years back. They were neck and neck, battling out back and forth, and then they got destroyed. A couple of years later, national champions. So. But yeah, a couple of my teams win this weekend except for LSU. It was like
Spicy. So I had a lightning in a bag play. Diego Pavia hurdled a guy. That was pretty cool.
that was.
Let's see. There was another one, like during the Clemson Virginia Tech game, where Cade he almost got tackled in the backfield, but he somehow scrambled out
Man, yeah.
and threw a touchdown pass. It was pretty cool.
That was beautiful.
And I'm gonna tell you, last year, that particular play is the Caleb Deloach play from Florida State, the strip sack that turned the game around.
Yeah.
You can tell he has grown up because
Yeah.
I'm telling. I thought he was down,
Yeah.
and then to find T.J. Moore downfield on the run,
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I'm glad that guy's our quarterback.
Yeah.
There was another lightning bag play from that game. There was a one-handed interception by
Wow.
Ashton Hampton. He's
That
a
was great.
freshman.
Yeah,
That was great.
yeah, beautiful,
Big things coming
beautiful.
out of him. Yeah.
So what y'all think about Clemson, Virginia Tech?
I was glad to see him win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everything's still in front of them.
All the goals are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was glad to see him win. Like you said, losing sometimes makes you better. And, you know, it looks like to me, Dabo had to come to Jesus meet with his defensive coordinator, and
He needed it.
they just punched Virginia Tech right in the mouth.
Yeah.
And I hope we see it this week too at noon in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Another place, a tough place to play. Yeah.
yep.
But yeah, I tell you, it was a good performance. I was glad to see it. Clemson got the talent to beat every team on their schedule, or they could have beat every team on the schedule. All their goals are in front of them. Beat South Carolina, win the ACC, go to the playoffs. All the goals are in front of them still.
Thanks to Miami.
Sammy Brown makes a difference on that defense.
Oh, yeah.
He is a monster.
Yes, he is. And I can't remember the name, the linebacker, the big recruit we got out of Georgia. What's his name?
Sammy Brown.
Sammy Brown. Yeah.
Sammy Brown.
He's starting this week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Sammy Brown. Yep. Yep.
I couldn't remember the name. Sammy.
Yeah, in
Brown.
high school he played every position.
Fullback and everything.
Yeah, everything.
I'd like to see him play some.
His dad was his high school coach.
Well, his son did that pick, fullback and linebacker too. So yeah, so yeah, I like that. I like the good tough linebacker and fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah. His son, I saw his son run over some guys, run over Daniel and some other players. You know, the other teams. So yeah, what else we got?
What did y'all think about the Clemson?
I thought it was gonna be
game?
closer than what it was. I thought Virginia Tech could play them a lot tougher, but that just showed Clemson had improved
Yeah.
and got after it.
Still can't kick a field goal.
No,
but, you know.
Oh
Well,
man.
and
just
that's
like a
just
few years ago.
Yeah.
the thing about the kicking game. You know, you go back to the forward years, all the things kicking game were non-negotiable. I mean, extra points are automatic.
Yeah.
You might miss a 70-yarder, so to speak, with Obed O'Reilly, or not him, but Donald Weekend, but everything else is pretty much all automatic. But going back to what Chris said about losing make you better, to overcome a momentum changer. I mean, a block kick and a return, even though that was Virginia Tech's only score in the first half,
Yeah.
that is a huge momentum shift. And to be able to overcome that and then have a dominating performance in the second half, yeah, it speaks volumes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, about the character of the kids and the
Yeah.
program.
Yeah, I thought when they run that block field goal back, I was at my buddy's house. I said, "That's it."
That's what I texted him. I'm like, oh, and it's gone.
Yeah, I said that's it. I said they're fixing to
Yeah,
turn this game around and they fixing to blow us out.
yeah.
But they kept ahead, and
And I'm glad. I'm glad.
they did their job, and
Yep.
they kept ahead. Yeah.
Yep.
All
So,
right.
does anybody have a special game they want to talk about?
This week.
Anything? Yeah, this
Yeah,
past week.
well, I know we don't really usually talk about pro football, but let's talk about them Saints beating the Falcons. I
Who
love
dat?
it. Who dat? I love it. The Saints, with their interim head coach, beat their bitter rivals, the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm glad of that. And I hope Tara and everybody down in New Orleans is watching the show and who dat?
Yeah, I'll let the coaches at Atlanta be pallbearers because they let them down again.
Carolina Panthers won again. Their second game in a row.
Yeah.
Congratulations to
Overseas.
them.
Now, we're not gonna say anything about Dallas, but yeah, it was a pretty good weekend for most of our teams. We had, like I say, LSU got beat.
I wanna kind of say something. I'm doing underdog fantasy. Don't know if you've ever heard that, but you pick higher or lower for a chance to win money. And I needed Jared Goff to have 2 passing touchdowns last night. Jameer Gibbs to go over 64.5 yards.
Uh-huh.
And C.J. Stroud to go over 232.5 yards. I got the first 2 picks right. C.J. Stroud passed for 232 yards. He needed 233 for me to win.
Wow.
So thank you, C.J. Stroud. I appreciate that.
All right. You want to talk about anything?
What about the Chargers? They're still winning.
Yeah, they are.
Are they cheating though?
Who cares? They win a Super Bowl. Who cares? The first one?
That's the Raiders. They encourage cheating, and that's why I like them. That outlaw likes cheating.
If you don't cheat, you can't win most times.
For everybody who doesn't know, this is my greatest tag team partner, the Blue Cyclone, our manager, Doc Holliday. So, yeah, that's the connection here. We love to cheat.
Just forget you see my face on it.
Doc will choke you out in a heartbeat in a wrestling ring. I've seen him do it a lot. All right. What else we got?
Nothing unless y'all want to pick some games.
Let's pick some games.
All right. Clemson versus Pitt.
Ooh, at Pitt.
I'm
Let's-
picking Pitt.
You picking Pitt.
I am. So y'all can go from
Let's
there.
go. You pick first, and we go with Zach and go around this way. How's that? All right, who you got now? Zach? Who you got?
I think Clemson keeps the momentum rolling. I think because Pitt suffered a bad loss last week, I think Clemson's going to go up there and punch them in the mouth. If they play well, no field goals, don't even think about the kicking game. Let the field goal kicker come out street clothes. You're not going to use him. I think Clemson's going to punch them in the mouth. And I think they're going to keep their ACC championship hopes alive and their playoffs alive. I'm picking Clemson by 2 touchdowns.
Clemson by 7.
I have a toss-up on this one, but I'm gonna go with Clemson.
All right.
I'm going with the Tigers as well. It'll be a great game.
Yeah.
Tough up in Pittsburgh, but I'm going with the Tigers.
Noon kickoff, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I love it. Good. All right.
Utah versus Colorado.
Oh,
Oh, man.
who you got?
I think Colorado's probably gonna win, but I'm going with Utah because they're mad. That they didn't beat
Where's the
BYU.
game at? Is that-
Colorado.
Colorado.
Okay.
But I'm picking Utah for the upset.
I think Colorado rolls, absolutely rolls. They're keeping the momentum going. I think they roll. I really do. I think they roll.
I'm hoping Utah wins. I gotta go with Colorado.
Buffalo.
JoJo, I'm going to side with you on this one. I'm going with the Utes.
All right.
Hope that I finally get them right for a change.
Somebody's dinging. Who is that?
Look at me.
Oh, okay. Is it easy bake oven back there?
I wouldn't know. How would I?
I don't know. You never asked me for it. All right. What else we got?
Penn State versus Purdue.
Oh, that's the easy one.
Penn State.
The way James Franklin coaches, Purdue might be. But no, I'm going with Penn State. I believe they roll here.
Mine's by 14.
Penn State.
Penn State.
How about Virginia, Notre Dame?
Oh, man.
I mean, Virginia did just kind of win a game recently.
Who's they upset? Who was that they upset?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yep.
Who you got?
I'm gonna take Notre Dame.
Yep.
They're
No-
too good.
Notre Dame by 21.
Yep. I believe Notre Dame rolls. I don't think it'll be anything like they played against Florida State, but I think they win by 2-3 touchdowns. They win comfortably. And I hate it for Tony Elliott,
Yeah.
but I believe that Notre Dame rolls here.
Hopefully they'll come back.
Because it's in South Bend especially.
Yeah.
So
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm going with the Irish as well.
All right, Boston College versus SMU. I got SMU.
No brainer.
yeah. SMU by 4 touchdowns.
Ponies roll.
Yep.
SMU.
SMU.
No.
LSU versus Florida. I'll
At
let y'all go
Florida.
first.
At Florida.
If DJ Lagway plays, sorry Jimbo. DJ Lagway plays, Florida gets the upset.
It's gonna be a very, very tough game. LSU barely by 3.
Go Tigers.
In the swamp,
In the
Yep.
swamp.
I'm going to have to go with the Gators on this one.
Yep.
I'm going with Florida. Missouri versus South Carolina.
That's a brutal battle. Who you
Yeah.
got?
South Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina keeps rolling. I've been telling guys at work, can't lay an egg. You got the momentum going, you can't lay an egg. They're like Clemson's men's basketball team. They get ranked and they lose the next game. But I'm going with Gamecocks. I think they roll here against the Tigers.
Another
Let's
tough
hope
one.
not.
Another
Yeah,
tough
let's hope not. But I believe they roll here.
Another tough one's gonna be at Carolina, but South Carolina wins.
South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm picking the Gamecocks too. I mean, they've got their ship right, and as long as they don't become their own worst enemy, they should win this game.
Now, game day. Tennessee versus Georgia.
What you got?
Georgia.
Georgia.
If Tennessee can score in the first quarter, they can keep it close. But if they can't, Georgia comes out. I hate to do it. Now you know what? I'm picking Tennessee in the upset. They were my preseason pick to win the SEC, and I believe they punched their ticket this weekend. I believe they roll into Athens and they upset Georgia.
I've been back and forth on this one. Tennessee, Georgia. Kirby Smart's gonna have them so fired up, they will beat Tennessee.
I agree, Georgia.
I'm going with big money, and I'm gonna pick Tennessee in the
Hope
upset.
you guys are right.
Yeah, me too, because I don't like Georgia.
Oregon versus Wisconsin. Oregon.
Yep. Going with the
In a
Ducks.
tight one.
Going with the
Quack,
Ducks.
quack, quack.
In a
Going with
tight
the
one.
Ducks.
Oregon,
Ducks all the way. I think the Ducks are going to be in the Big Ten championship game. I think it'll be them and the Hoosiers, and that'll be a good game. I mean, I'm looking forward, but to me, the handwriting's on the wall on that one.
Hoosiers are looking really well. Really, really well.
So you think the Hoosiers are going to walk into the horseshoe and win?
Strong possibility.
With his
Yep. They
Yes.
could.
Yes.
They very well can.
yes.
In our last game, Nebraska versus Southern Cal.
Oh,
We'll
man.
let you pick this one first.
Southern Cal. In
Yeah.
a tight one.
I believe Nebraska's going to win this one. Southern Cal's just been struggling, but I believe Nebraska's going to win this one. I'm going Corn Huskers.
Night game,
I don't know.
Trojans.
I just know it's at home for the Southern Cal.
I'm going with Nebraska.
I'm going with the Huskers as well.
If you guys have not seen their entrance, the night entrance, you need to go on YouTube and watch that entrance. Second only to Clemson's entrance.
I think I shared it on Facebook too.
You did. I mean, it's one of the best entrances I've ever seen besides Clemson. It's good.
All right, let's thank our sponsors, Super Dave with Life FM, David Garrett, Lone Wolf Customs, engraving, hats, business cards, challenge coins, and more.
Robbie Raines.
The Smoke Box for all your barbecue needs, Jonas Gray.
Mhm.
Carolina Horse,
Skates.
Skate.
Skates, and
Grading.
grading. Can't read your handwriting.
Yeah.
Clay Constance.
We want to thank our guests tonight, especially our new guy here tonight. Hope it's not the last time you show up here to do it. We had fun with it.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
So it was a lot of fun. And invite everybody you know to watch you make your picks and
I'll put it on the screen at church Sunday morning, say I have preaching.
Well, hopefully we'll have you back here again very soon too. So check your schedule and see what you're going to do.
All right.
All right, thank you everyone for
Bye.
tuning in. Bye.
Sweet.
Well, when I was a kid, I'd take a trip every summer down to Mississippi, visit my granny and her antebellum world. I'd run barefooted all day long, climbing trees, free as a song. One day, I happened to catch myself a squirrel.